Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Talkin Toms River. I'm your host, Jeff Dingsor, and today another very special guest from the administration. We have Laura Picurro, who is the Director of Health and Human Services and the Municipal Alliance Coordinator for Toms River Township. Laura, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, this is our pleasure. So let's dive into a little bit about your background. What brings you to this position?
Sure. I really started my advocating when my husband got sick. He was a 9/11 first responder. He was diagnosed in 2004. And back then, there was no help for the responders. So having to advocate for my family, along with even the first responders, really got me into really knowing how horrible it is out there when people who need help don't know where to go or what to do. And after my husband passed away, 2 years later, I started at Toms River Township, and I started at the Senior Center, and I was brought in as a part-time program aide, and I worked my way up to Outreach, which the Outreach is our caregiver program, which we help our caregivers and our homebound seniors. And then I moved over to Ocean County Senior Services for 2.5 years to learn the administrative end of it, and then came back as director.
That's awesome. I wish I had known about you guys years ago. I took care of my elderly mom and dad for 6 years, and I knew nothing.
Yeah, and it's so many people they don't know where to go or what to do. Where do you go? Mm-hmm. Where do you go when you have to put your loved one in a nursing home? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with a parent who now has dementia and doesn't even know who you are, but yet you don't want to put them in the home, but how do you take care of them? What do? You come to me. And my job is to help navigate the system, help advocate for the voiceless, for the ones who have no voice, and to help the families also. It's a whole community of people who need help, and that's what I'm here to do.
So you advocate for that, like in my case, you would have been the advocate for like my mom and dad.
Well, right. If you came into my center and you said, I have my parents and I need, I want to keep them at home, but they need help in the house and I can't be there, I work. So my job would be to link you with the services, to help guide you through it. And I'm not a therapist, but sometimes you act like it because I'll have family and they will call. How do you deal with it, when you're looking at your parent? And a lot of it is so stressful too. So, on trying to take care of your parent, you're trying to take care of yourself also. And it's just so much. Are you making the right decision? How do I do this? So my job would to be help you and to make sure that you make the right decisions, because it is so hard to know what to do and where to go and who do you call.
Right. And I know what you mean when you say it's hard to, as a caretaker, it was hard to take care of myself because I was constantly worrying about them.
Well, that's the thing. And people forget about the caregivers. So we have a program, our caregiver program, which is our National Family Caregiver Program. And that is through a grant through the federal, state, county, and local. So I get funding that's how our center runs, on funding. So, our caregiver services is specifically for that, for our caregivers. People forget about the caregivers. You got to take care of yourself before you can take care of anybody else. What they say in a plane is give yourself oxygen first and then help your neighbor. And that's kind of what it is. And I myself am a caregiver, and I know I put myself last because you're so worried about everybody else. But, my job is to help you, to navigate the system and also help you to make sure that you're okay too. Because it's such a large job and it's really, really difficult. And, when you're always wondering, am I making the right decision? Am I doing what's best for my parents, my loved ones? And everybody has a parent, an aunt, an uncle, a neighbor. So usually everybody seems to come through my door at some point, and I will help anybody that needs help.
And I understand what you say about, you're not being a therapist, but sometimes people need to talk. I mean, when I took over that role, I did all like the heavy lifting at the house, whereas my mom specifically took care of my dad's physical needs and feeding him, but she refused to take care of herself.
Right.
Even with me there now to take that burden off, she refused. So when my dad passed, she declined like rapidly. Within, a year and a half, she was gone.
Yeah. And that's the sad part. It's like, I see that a lot. And when even a spouse, especially our spouses that are older and elderly, we have our age ranges from 60 to 101. We just had 101st birthday in March, which is amazing. And she still is alone. So, but it's really, really difficult when, like you're saying, you were doing the heavy lifting, your mother was taking care of your father, and they want to take care of them on their own. They don't want that help because they are very, I will do it. This is how I do it. And there's that
nobody can do it as good as I can.
But, and that's where I'll come in, and I'm very good at, working with the families and explaining, let's give it a shot. Bring somebody in, try 2 weeks. If it doesn't work, we don't have to keep doing it. And a lot of times they'll say, okay, it's not so bad. So guess what? You didn't have to spend the last 3 hours feeding, changing. You were able to go to the senior center and maybe enjoy an exercise class while your loved one is being cared for by your caretaker, home health aide, whatever it is that you bring in. And then there's also programs out there that, can help bring those services into your home. You were talking about lifting and all of that kind of stuff too. So there are agencies out there that can also help with that. So, I've had people call and say that they needed bars in their bathroom or to make the house handicap accessible. Mm-hmm. So there's agencies out there that will help install it and, will come in and do that for you. So, and also putting ramps in the home, things like that. You don't really think of every little thing. Like, are you able to open the door on your own? Are you able to not?
Exactly.
Can you get into the bathtub on your own? Do you need help? Do you need physical assistance? Do you need oversight? There's so many things to look at. So that's why I say when you come to me, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to pick through it and see exactly what your needs are. And then from there, I will do the best I can to help you.
You had said you were voices for the voiceless. And that's pretty much what we just talked about. Let's talk a little bit about your results-driven and community-focused. What does that entail?
Well, very community-focused. I really, really like to get our community involved. Our seniors are our most vulnerable in our community right now. When our seniors' electric bills go up, they can't go out and get a job. What are they going to do? A lot of our seniors are living on less than $1,000 a month. Can you imagine? How do you live? What do you do? Where do you go? And, I get those calls every day. And, there's funding out there for our seniors, but unfortunately, a lot of the funding they're taking from the seniors, it seems like they're pulling it first. Where is it going? What are they doing with it? Our seniors can't get up and go out and make, an extra $500, $600 a month, maybe more than that. Where do you go? And there's no funding out there that's going to actually give you the money. So my job would be to subsidize their income, whether getting them heating assistance, whether getting them food stamps, whatever it is that they would need to subsidize their income to put a little bit more money into their bank account, and working with the community and getting out there and knowing where to go, who to call, what do you do? And especially you look at our seniors' insurance, our seniors are paying, especially as you get older. So, Medicare, you're paying your Part B premium, whether you have a supplement, you might be paying a monthly premium on that. You have a prescription plan, do you have co-pays? What plan are you on? There's supplements, there's advantage plans. And, we have seniors out there now. So if you need any help, come see me. We do, we're SHIP counselors. So which means we're state health insurance programs. So we are certified through the state of New Jersey, and we do open enrollment. All of our services are free. So, we do prescription assistance, Medicare, Medicaid, Slim Beat, anything that has to do with your state health insurance, your benefits. So we handle all that too. So, we're kind of a one-stop shop with what we do there. But the community itself and getting the community involved, it's really important that I feel like our community knows that there's somewhere for you to bring your loved one, bring your parent, bring your neighbor, that not just are we an activity center, but we also do outreach. We help with services, and we're boots on the ground. We're in it. Like I've been in homes where people have been misplaced.
Destitute?
Exactly. Seniors, hoarding situations. Horrible. Imagine walking in, a story was a 99-year-old veteran. This was back in my outreach days, and dementia, very sad. The family was living up north. They were involved, but not enough. Long story short I was the outreach worker, went out, and I was able to get the family and involved, and we were able to get that veteran into the Menlo Park Veterans. They have the veterans have their own nursing homes.
Yeah,
so
right.
Up in Menlo Park, it took about 3 months, which is unheard of. And what a fight.
That was that fast or slow?
That was fast.
Oh, okay.
It was very fast, and again, community, the calls, just being able to reach out to all of my contacts. But, we got this man set and I went to the house one day because Meals on Wheels needed to deliver the meal. Mm-hmm. And he had locked himself in his house. Now, this house was built in the 50s. It was really in bad shape, hoarding, a mess. And I was at the door looking at him, and he didn't know how to unlock the lock. The police had come to get in and stuff, but it was like watching this poor man who had no idea how to even unlock his door. Now knowing that I was able to assist in getting him to where he needs to be in the veterans home. And now this was years ago, but his quality of life, his son had called and said that, his quality of life came back. They were taking him out. He was going on bus trips. It was so just to know that it was
satisfying.
It is. And that I was able to make a difference in, this family's life. So, and that happened to my family in 2009 when my husband was dying. Toms River Township came together and they helped my family. And I will be forever grateful that the last year of my husband's life, we didn't have to worry about how we were going to pay the rent, how we're going to buy food. We had a small child. How am I going to be able to buy shoes or any of that? And, knowing that burden was lifted as my husband, he was on hospice, and it was not, it was a dark time, but it was also a time when, look at where I am now. And now I'm able to give back. And I'm so proud to be able to represent Toms River Township, to work for this town. My parents moved here in 1971. So we've been in this town for 54 years. So that's a long time. I was here. I went all through school here. I graduated from Mondon. My daughter was born here. She went all through East. So this town really means something to me. And I'm so lucky to be able to do this job and to be able to give back. So, how can
I say it? I hope you realize just how fortunate you are to be in a position that you love so much.
I am.
Because to me, in dealing with businesses in the capacity that I do, is, doing videos for them, there are so many people that are just so dissatisfied with what they do. And, they almost like wish they could have chosen a different career path. And to sit across from someone who is just so in love with what they do and so passionate about what they do, it's so refreshing.
Thank you. I really
see that.
I think about that I'm so lucky that I'm able to get up every day knowing that I'm going to be able to go out there and help and make a difference, and I don't like to hear the word no. I don't like to use the word no. Now, sometimes it may happen, but it's very rare. If somebody needs something, if I can help you, whatever it may be, I'm going to do everything that I can to help you, whether it's link you to the services, whether it's doing the services for you, whatever it is, and to bring that to our community, and like I said, our most vulnerable are our seniors. And they are the voiceless because it seems, especially as seniors get older and older, it kind of seems like they're being tossed, Our singers, some of our singers retired in the 80s. So when they retired, their income was nothing like it is today. So they're living.
And that's fixed.
Exactly.
So minuscule increases in what they call the cost of living.
Correct. Yeah.
Which is nowhere near the cost of living.
But then they take it back out on your Part B anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right. Exactly.
So even if you get your raise, they're going to take it back one way or another. But, either way, when you look at that, that is the most vulnerable, and I'm so lucky to be able to do this every day, and, I love what I do, and I will, and I believe like this was my calling. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. So all the things that I've gone through and where I am now, I just feel, being able to make a difference, just knowing that I'm able to help one person. I may have 50 people come through my office, but if one person is helped and, I've done my job.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about recreation and how do you get the seniors involved in that?
So our senior center is another facet of art.
Yeah.
Of our center. So if you look at it like an umbrella, there's spindles. So we have our recreation, our activities, we have our outreach, we have all of that. So as far as our activity center, it's really grown since I started a year and a half ago. And again, I did work at the senior center before, so I'm very well versed on, and I know how to do every part of it because I started as part-time and worked my way up.
Where is the senior center?
It's on 652 Garfield Avenue in Toms River. So it's down on the Eastover end. We have a large center. We have a lot of activities and just more and more. We're trying to do more and more programs. So we have exercise, yoga, line dancing. We have chair exercise. We have pound fitness. We have Zumba. We have Lunch and Learns, which is one of the new programs that we brought in this year, which is just exploded. We bring in educational speakers, doctors. We bring in hospice. We'll bring in elder attorneys. We'll bring in anything that our seniors need to know, and they will provide the lunch. And it's a catered lunch. It's a lunch for our seniors. If you feed them, they will come. And that is the truth. So I always have food at my center. But you're giving them a lunch. They're getting their socialization. And they're also getting educated. We have saved lives by having screenings, cancer screenings. We have hearing screens. Quest comes and does blood work for our seniors the first and third Wednesday of every month. You don't need an appointment. You just come in with your script and your insurance. We have bocce. We have an entire outside, I call it my courtyard. We have a beautiful pavilion. We just had our health and wellness fair. So I had over 65 vendors and 400 people. And with that, is we brought in, I work a lot with the high schools through Municipal Alliance, and the high school kids will come in and volunteer, and they help out with our programs. So you can see the intergenerational between the high school and our senior citizens, and it's just wonderful to watch, and it's just to see all of that. And again, our community and also our activities. So we provide our socialization, our recreation, we provide physical fitness, we provide our outreach, we provide homebound. So we're a one-stop.
That's awesome. And, I love the fact that you get the kids and the youth involved, because today is, I dare say this, today's society, we've gotten so introspective with the phones and everything. We're locked into our own little world. And to expose our young people to an environment like that, they don't realize how satisfying that can be to interact just from a sense of the wisdom
it's beautiful
that these folks have to offer to the young generation.
It is. It's amazing. We had our health and wellness fair now. Again, last year the weather was a bit better, so but we still managed to have 400 people come through. The way my fair that we do is different than any other health and wellness fair. So, like I said, I had over 65 vendors. We utilized our parking lot with mobile units along with the inside. So my whole center is turned into a health fair. And that will go from 9 to 12. And then at 12 o'clock, everybody comes out to the courtyard and they enjoy a barbecue, a live band, and then we have raffles throughout the 2 hours because our vendors have to bring a basket to be raffled off. And then all of the seniors get a chance to win. And our high school kids, I had all 4 high schools, and that includes Mondon, represented at our health fair, which was
like as volunteers.
Volunteers. So the kids come in and they came in shifts. So we have them, they were helping the seniors go through the health fair, carry their bags, whatever they need. And then they were out at the barbecue. They were doing all the running. They were dancing with our seniors. If you think about it, a lot of our seniors may not see their grandchildren. Maybe their grandchildren are grown. Maybe they don't have grandchildren. And the same goes with the high school kids. They may not see their grandparents. Maybe their grandparents have passed, but watching them connect, and they're not on their phones. They are interacting. And the stories that our seniors tell our seniors, it's beautiful to watch. And I do a lot of programming throughout the year with our high schools, because with the Municipal Alliance, I fund programs in the high schools for evidence-based programs, whether it would be for drugs and alcohol, mental health, anything like that with the schools. So, which is really important also. So we kind of work all together, and I really do intertwine the generations because I feel it's so important. And also for our young students to know the history. Can you imagine? We have seniors that have lived through world wars, have lived through the Great Depression, have seen so much that they don't even talk about it anymore. But our seniors are able to talk to our students. So it's...
I mean, even our generation has no clue.
No clue.
What our parents truly lived through, the horrors.
Exactly.
You know, when the Depression hit, when the market crashed, people were throwing themselves off a building.
Yes.
We can't wrap our brains around that today.
No.
You know, if the stock market has a bad day, everybody just goes about their business.
Exactly. And
It's like, and our kids, I feel bad because if they don't understand history to its fullest, they're bound to repeat the mistakes.
Yes.
And that's where, even though you're a senior centralized program, the fact that you're bringing the youth into the youths.
The youth. Oh my gosh, I was going to say that too. When I did.
The young people in is, to me, that's just absolutely monumental.
It is. And to watch it and be a part of it and be able to, you know, put it all together.
Right.
It's rewarding. It's so rewarding.
Is there anything that you wanted to touch on that we haven't really touched on yet that you feel is like of utmost importance to tell about?
I think we've touched on everything. You know, I did want to make it, you know, a lot of people think that the senior center is just a big fun place. Oh, you do parties, and we do. We do a lot, but we do so much more. We're so in the community. You know, I'm out in the community. I'm speaking to all of our senior communities about the services that we have to come. You know, I welcome anybody 60 and over. If you're not 60 and you're collecting Social Security disability through the state, you can come to the center, but you have to be collecting SSD. And even, you know, I've had families come through, call. I don't do family and children, but I know where to send you. So therefore, I might not be able to give you the services you need, but I can definitely direct you on where to go and how to get it. So, like I said, you know, it's not, I don't get a lot of it, but sometimes it happens. And, you know, and that's also, you know, a good thing too. So, but the main thing is that our senior center is here. It's open. We're doing phenomenal. Our programs are growing. Our outreach is growing. And I know that our seniors are really thriving. They really are.
This is also, this gives me a whole new perspective on Toms River's advocacy programs that I don't think a lot of people realize even exists.
No, a good portion of people do not know they exist. You know, and it's so important to get the word out.
Right. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on with us today.
Same here. Come by the center. I'd love for you to come. I would love it. Our singers would love it. I would love it. We can, and there might be...
I'll even bring a camera.
Oh, please. Oh, that would be...
When guys shoots, and you can put it up like for social media shorts or something.
We have, well, I'm planning on running this, and because I have TVs throughout the center.
Right.
So I'm planning on running this. I would love it, and our singers would love it. Please, it's so exciting. Please come. And you know what? We can help you with services. We do open enrollment. Come see us.
Okay. Laura, it's been an honor.
Same. Thank you so much. Can I just say one more thing?
Sure.
I just, like I was saying, I'm so proud to be able to represent the township of Toms River. And I am so thankful for Mayor Roderick for putting me here in this position to be able to help our most vulnerable. So I'm forever grateful for him. Yeah. And, you know, and I'm just excited for what's to come in our township because I do see good things. And, you know,
it's a great town.
It really is. And I grew up here. I've been here for 54 years, so I can tell you all about it.
Right.
And it is. So thank you so much.
Oh, it was our pleasure. It's our honor to have someone like you come on that is so passionate and loves so much to do what you do on a daily basis.
Thank you.
It's just wonderful. So, folks, thank you for watching. I think, like I said, it's been an absolute honor to have Laura on with us today. And tune in next time where we have another guest coming up. We don't know who it is yet, but as soon as we do, you'll know. So for Talkin Toms River, I'm Jeff Dingsor. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.